Hey, Flo here. Ooh, it's really windy. Might be an issue. Hopefully not, but it's definitely turning into fall. I said this before, like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, that I felt like I had experienced the last day of summer. Like, not on the calendar, but just in reality. Well, I had some other nice days since then, so that turned out not to be accurate, but this might truly be the last. Starting to get windy, but also last time I checked the forecast, it's gonna cool down considerably. Not till like freezing or any, like winter temperatures, nothing like that yet, but definitely not summer temperatures. Oops. I'm going to try to stabilize this tripod because I'm on quite a slant here. I think it has good enough grip that it's not just going to slide down the hill, but if it did, it would end up in the water, which would not be good. It's insanely steep. It's like well over 45-degree slant there. Not quite 90 degrees straight up and down, but somewhere in between. Okay. So I slept in massively late because I was up all night trying to fix my stupid script. And so I didn't get out early enough to do like a bunch of stuff today. So it's kind of late in the afternoon as usual. Okay, I have to actually be somewhat careful here. I want to try to sit on this log, but this root, it's a giant root of a tree. Looks pretty stable, but just getting down to it, be careful and make sure I don't put my phone somewhere they're going to slide. If something slides, it's instantly in the water and gone forever because it's very deep, strong current. And so gotta be careful. I could set up my chair here. I don't know, this is weird. There's a ton of ants here. I don't necessarily want to sit straight on the ground, otherwise that would be totally a normal thing to do. I think I might get my chair. I don't really want to because it's just more work, but there is sort of a flat-ish area right there. I'm gonna get inundated with ants though. They're like all over there. I don't think there's any way to avoid that reality. Man, I was having a really frustrating vibe coding night last night and this morning trying to fix the script, and in the end, I thought I had it, but there's just one more bug. The problem is I had to wait hours and hours for the script to run because it's a pretty intensive video editing script that just automates the Bible slides on videos that I didn't record it that way. And I thought it was working, but apparently it was introducing like tiny offsets each slide, and I think I know why. I should have noticed that, but anyway, I should be able to fix it. I don't know if I can get AI to fix it. I'm having like a lot of experiences with AI lately because it's in a very advanced script. That's the problem. Nothing's really changed with AI. It's just it's asking a lot. I'm asking it to do a lot, and I shouldn't really expect it to work, to be perfectly honest, but it's gotten me really far, so I'm pretty amazed at how far it's taken me with this script without me having to write any code, so I can't really complain. Okay, this place is dangerous, that's for sure. I don't think it's quite flat enough, unfortunately. I thought it might be. I just don't know if I can actually sit on that properly. It's really amazingly, surprisingly hazardous. I just climbed a mountain and this is probably more hazardous than that. Not life-threatening, like not even injury-threatening. It's really just like if I fall, I'm gonna fall right into the river and get soaked and have to swim down the river and find a place to get back up. Just kind of not ideal. Yeah, I don't know. I looked at this from over there where I set up and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks perfect. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, or now that I'm standing right over it, not so sure. Ooh. Yeah, the ants like this giant root too. That's so scenic. I really like this spot, but man, it's not. This little pile of dirt that I'm standing up on, I don't know what's holding it there, but I think it's probably not that hard for that to break loose, and then I have nothing keeping me upright. I guess I can sit on it like this. As long as this entire root doesn't suddenly rot away and break out from under me, I think I'm okay. But my phones are sketchy. I'm gonna do one last adjustment here. I'm gonna go get my wrist. Whoops. I hate it when I do that. Get my wrist, phone strap, pouch, whatever. I don't know what to call it. Oh, I hate this kind of stuff. It just slows me down, wastes a bunch of time. Backpack just gave out on me too. The zipper issues. Having an issue. I did buy a backpack recently, but I found out it's a little bit smaller, or actually a fair amount smaller than my old one, so I can't carry all the same gear. So if I really just want to run out the door and not have to like massively plan how I pack everything because the bag is not really big enough, then I just have been using my old one still, even though my new one is pretty nice otherwise. It's just not big enough. That's dumb. I mean, I'm still going to use the new one, but it's not ideal with my gear setup. Okay, what was I going to do? What? Did not press that button. Okay, I just wanted to make sure this is all working and stuff. Okay, hopefully the wind doesn't catch my chair if like a sail. If it does, it's gone. It'll go into the river for sure. I don't really feel like packing it up though. Maybe I can put my backpack on the corner of it. Oh, this is hazardous stuff right here. I don't know if it translates well to the screen, but this is insanely steep right here. So it's not a joke. It's no joke at all. Actually, I'm going to come from over this way. I think that'll make it a little bit less hazardous. I am definitely going to get overrun by ants too. Guaranteed. They're like all over this piece of wood here. Okay, I think I'm good. Whew, that was crazy. So yeah, I was working on this stupid thing last night and I thought I had it done and I should have spot checked it. I actually did spot check it, but I think it's only shifting 0.3 seconds, possibly 0.6 seconds, but somewhere between 0.3 and 0.6 seconds every slide. And so at first it's not really noticeable, and I probably just spot checked not far in enough. But as it progresses further through the script, the offset gets very noticeable and it's whole several seconds off and stuff, so that's not gonna work. It's fine. Like, the annoying thing is I should have noticed that last night, reset it. Well, actually I'm kind of glad I didn't notice it, because I probably would have stayed up even later trying to fix it, and I just wanted to be done with it. So it's okay. I'll fix it. Even if I have to look at the code, which I never do, I literally never look at the Python code anymore because I don't like programming. Even if I have to do that, I'm going to fix it one way or another, because I spent an entire week, not like constantly, but it took me a week. Like the recording that I did without the slides on it, just using my Samsung phone as a camera, essentially. I did that a week ago Sunday, I think, actually, and maybe Saturday even. I think it was Sunday though. And it took me a whole week just to try to create that script. I mean, the thing that's crazy about that is, before AI vibe coding was a thing, that would have taken me months and months, and I maybe never would have figured it out. The stuff that it had to figure out is super difficult because I'm using a specific version of FFmpeg that doesn't support certain filters and complex, filter graphs and all the whatever stuff. I don't really know much about it, but I'm having to use basic fade-ins and fade-outs and other earlier version stuff, and even there's some bugs in FFmpeg that I have to figure out. So if I had to figure that out by looking up on forums and Stack Exchange or whatever, I don't think I'd ever figure it out, because AI has access to all of that information and it can't even figure it out unless it just tries 1,000 times and eventually got it. But man, it's not easy programming that stuff. So it's funny when I say, oh, it took a whole week, but in reality it would have taken forever. I don't know if I could have even written the script at all if I tried to write it myself. So a week is still pretty quick for how ambitious the script is. It's probably one of my top 5 more ambitious AI scripts I've written. Easily. Oh, yeah, around there. I've done a lot. I think I have over 80 now. Over 80 AI generated or AI assisted scripts that I worked on. Some of them really basic. Most of them are command line Python things, and a few of them are actual web pages, with various complicated functions, but most of them are command line interfaces. Alright, well, enough about that junk. I just wanted to share that story because that's what I was dealing with yesterday, and now I have to go through the whole process again. Thankfully, I have a stable script. So I don't use GitHub on these projects. I just use, or Git or anything, any kind of repository. I just save each file in a sequential number as I'm working on them and making changes. So thankfully I have a backup of a version of the script that's running, and it just needs some minor adjustments. So whenever I reach that kind of progress, I know I can eventually figure it out, because I can just feed that working script back into AI and say, hey, this is really close, don't change a thing, here's the only thing you need to focus on, laser focus on this problem, and usually I can eventually figure it out, or it can figure it out with my help. Okay, so today we're going to be reading 1 Samuel 21 to 22, Psalms 31 and 34 and Acts 11. I don't know if this is a long reading or not. Looks like, not really. It's semi-short to medium length. I feel like I need to have one leg in a position such that if this whole thing collapses, I can like either spin and grab the branch or jump up the hill. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's in my mind. This is kind of a pretty insane position to be sitting in, to be honest. I don't recommend it, but I'm doing it. It's nice. This is nice to be able to use this app. If I do it this way, I don't have to worry about that junk. The other thing, I'm sorry I'm keeping talking about this. This is my vlog section of the stream where I'm just giving myself a progress update and anyone else that might have been following along my journey. One thing I was realizing as I was walking down the trail out here along the river is that I could revisit the idea I had before to have my smart button, when I push the smart button, not only have it save a timestamp, but somehow interact with the slide program. Not necessarily the slide program, but anyway, the idea is, yeah, I think, actually, you know what? I think I just figured it out somewhat. Yeah, so if I push the smart button every time I read 2 verses, like if I have no internet whatsoever, I have to record it with just my phone or some camera. It doesn't matter what I use, a GoPro, I don't have one, but just literally any camera that doesn't have an internet connection, just record it. And then later I do my adding the slide thing, but I need timing information. And so if I push the smart button in between every 2 verses that I read, which I would read using my Bible app or something on my phone, then I would have the information I need to transition the slides. Before it was a challenge because I couldn't press the next slide button and the smart button at the same time. I'm like trying to, have a weird hand configuration of pushing 2 buttons, and it's distracted from reading stuff. But if I had just the smart button, that's all I did, and every 2 verses, I think my brain could handle that. And then I could skip a huge step because I have to generate these subtitle SRT files in order to feed the timing into my script that produces the slides. And if I have the smart button saving timestamps, that would give me everything I need to do the calculations, and I could just skip that entire step. That would be amazing. That would save so much time. That's what I'm going to try next time. I might even be able to try it this outing if I find a place where there's no signal and I just record the reading. But anyway, that's the synopsis. That's where I'm at with all that fun stuff, nerdy stuff. But yeah, let's do the reading. I'm just thankful I can use the regular online app now because I don't have to do any of that extra crazy stuff for this reading. As long as everything works. I'm a little bit worried my phone over there could overheat because it's in direct sunlight, so gotta try to be speedy, which I'm not being speedy. Man, this is kind of, it's not necessarily freaking me out because it's not physically dangerous. I just don't want to fall into the water. It would be seriously bad because I would drop all my phones and I would get completely sopping wet, and so I need to make sure my balance is shifted inward. I feel like I'm just like, whoa. Okay. Let's do this. I don't really like having this thing on my wrist while I'm reading, but I'm afraid if I put it down somewhere, it's gonna slide down the hill. It's almost big enough if there was another branch, I could wrap it around the branch. Let's see. I could probably put it around this one, technically, but maybe I'll try that. I don't really like having this on my wrist. It's kind of a nuisance. It looks dumb. Like on the screen, it probably, I imagine it looks kind of dumb. Like I'm holding too many phones. It's gonna get really dirty, but oh well. There. There's very little chance it's gonna shake free from that with the Velcro on there. Okay, I think I'm good. Oh, I always forget this too. Let me, before I forget, let me grab my document. I accidentally did a single timestamp that shouldn't be in there. I don't know why all these timestamps are in there. It's weird. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah, I need to get a slightly different balance, otherwise I'm just not gonna feel comfortable. Okay. That's not comfortable either, but I forgot to mark a place that I read. Was that yesterday? I think it was. Anyway, I forgot. So I'll have to go back and add that one manually, which is a pain. I wonder if I can I'm just gonna sit on this dirt. I'm already getting ants all over me, so let's just embrace the ants. There's nothing I can do about it. And that way I'm just a little bit better secure position. Kind of tempted. I might I need to turn the volume off the beep for that smart button also, but I need to be able to sense it somehow that I know that it worked. I'm tempted to try that on this reading as an experiment, but how would I do that? Let me see what we can figure out here. So that would be pretty cool. Settings. Okay, that's cool. It has a vibrate setting. I might try that, because then I can go home and run some tests on generating slides from these timestamps. I'm going to be afraid of dropping the button too. We'll give it a try. So I need some test data to troubleshoot. No, because then I have the same issue I had before where I'm trying to push the button on the screen and push the smart button at the same time, and I can't do it. I'll save that for another time. I don't know about that wind either. If it knocks over my tripod, I'm in deep trouble. Seriously, there's so many little stupid tech issues today, like usual. Ugh. I'm kind of paranoid about that. If that happened, that would be catastrophic. I don't think it will, but this is pretty sturdy. That just changed the balance just a little bit, angling in toward the uphill. Feels pretty sturdy, I think. Weird. Okay. I'll try it. Wasted so much time already. First Samuel chapter 21. Then David came to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. And when Ahimelech met David, he trembled and asked him, "Why are you alone? Why is no one with you?" "The king has given me a mission," David replied. "He told me no one is to know about the mission or charge, and I have directed my young men to meet me at a certain place. Now then, what do you have on hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread, or whatever can be found." "There is no common bread on hand," the priest replied, "but there is some consecrated bread, provided that the young men have kept themselves from women." David answered, "Women have indeed been kept from us, as is usual when I set out, and the equipment of the young men is holy, as it is even on common missions, and all the more at this time." So the priests gave him the consecrated bread, since there was no bread there but the bread of the presence, which had been removed from before the Lord and replaced with hot bread on the day it was taken away. Now one of Saul's servants was there that day, detained before the Lord, and his name was Doeg the Edomite, the chief shepherd for Saul. Then David asked Ahimelech, "Is there not a spear or sword on hand here? For I have brought neither my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business was urgent." The priest replied, "The sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom you killed in the valley of Elah, is here. It is wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you want, you may take it, for there is no other but this one." And David said, "There is none like it. Give it to me." That day David fled from Saul and went to Achish, king of Gath. But the servants of Achish said to him, "Is this not David, the king of the land? Did they not sing about him in their dances, saying, 'Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands'?" Now David took these words to heart and was very much afraid of Achish, the king of Gath. So he changed his behavior before them and feigned madness in their hands. He scratched on the doors of the gate and let his saliva run down his beard. Then Achish said to his servants, "Look, you can see that the man is insane. Why have you brought him to me? Am I in need of madmen, that you have brought this man to rave in my presence? Must this man come into my house?" First Samuel chapter 22. So David left Gath and took refuge in the cave of Adullam. When his brothers and the rest of his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. And all who were distressed or indebted or discontented, rallied around him, and he became their leader. About 400 men were with him. From there David went to Mizpah of Moab, where he said to the king of Moab, "Please let my father and mother stay with you until I learn what God will do for me." So he left them in the care of the king of Moab, and they stayed with him the whole time David was in the stronghold. Then the prophet Gad said to David, "Do not stay in the stronghold. Depart and go into the land of Judah." So David left and went to the forest of Hereth. Soon Saul learned that David and his men had been discovered. At that time Saul was in Gibeah, sitting under the tamarisk tree on the hill at Gibeah, with his spear in hand and all his servants standing around him. Then Saul said to his servants, "Listen, men of Benjamin." Then Saul said to his servants, "Listen, men of Benjamin. Is the son of Jesse giving all of you fields and vineyards and making you commanders of thousands or hundreds? Is that why all of you have conspired against me? Not one of you told me that my own son had made a covenant with the son of Jesse. Not one of you has shown concern for me or revealed to me that my son has stirred up my own servant to lie in wait against me, as is the case today." But Doeg the Edomite, who had stationed himself with Saul's servants, answered, "I saw the son of Jesse come to Ahimelech son of Ahitub at Nob. Ahimelech inquired of the Lord for him and gave him provisions. He also gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine." Then the king sent messengers to summon Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and his whole Then the king sent messengers to summon Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and his father's whole family, who were priests at Nob. And all of them came to the king. "Listen now, son of Ahitub," said Saul. "Here I am, my lord," he replied. And Saul asked him, "Why have you and the son..." And Saul asked him, "Why have you and the son of Jesse conspired against me? You gave him bread and a sword, and inquired of God for him, so that he could rise up against me to lie in wait, as he is doing today." Ahimelech answered the king, "Who among all your servants is as faithful as David, the king's son-in-law, the captain of your bodyguard, who is honored in your house? Was that day the first time I inquired of God for him? Far be it from me. Let not the king accuse your servant or any of my father's household, for your servant knew nothing of this whole affair, not in part or in whole." But the king replied, "You will surely die, Ahimelech, you and all your father's house." Then the king ordered the guards at his side, "Turn and kill the priests of the Lord, because they too sided with David." For they knew he was fleeing, but they did not tell me. But the king's servants would not lift a hand to strike the priests of the Lord. So the king ordered Doeg, "You turn and strike down the priests." And Doeg the Edomite turned and struck down the priests himself. On that day he killed 85 men who wore the linen ephod. He also put to the sword Nob, the city of priests, with its men and women, children and infants, oxen, donkeys, and sheep. But one of the sons of Ahimelech son of Ahitub escaped. His name was Abiathar, and he fled to David. And Abiathar told David that Saul had killed the priests of the Lord. Then David said to Abiathar, "I knew that Doeg the Edomite was there that day, and that he was sure to tell Saul. I myself am responsible for the lives of everyone in your father's house. Stay with me, do not be afraid, for he who seeks your life is seeking mine as well. You will be safe with me." Well, if there was any doubt before now whether Saul was a good guy or a bad guy, we know what side he's on. Ridiculous. He should have changed his heart again and humbled himself and said, "You're right, Ahimelech. I don't know what I'm doing. David is not actually conspiring against me. I'm just out of my mind. I'm going to go home now." That's what he should have done. No, instead he kills I don't know how many people, probably hundreds if not thousands, because 85 priests, but then it says that Doeg also killed everybody in the town. It's like, yeah, Saul, you suck. That is going to be weighing down on him for eternity in hell, that's for sure. No doubt about that. Unless he repented at the very end. I don't think so, but I don't know. Psalm chapter 31. For the choir master, a psalm of David. In you, O Lord, I have taken refuge. Let me never be put to shame. Save me by your righteousness. Incline your ear to me. Come quickly to my rescue. Be my rock of refuge, the stronghold of my deliverance. For you are my rock and my fortress. Lead me and guide me for the sake of your name. You free me from the net laid out for me, for you are my refuge. Into your hands I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, O Lord, God of truth. I hate those who cling to worthless idols, but in the Lord I trust. I will be glad and rejoice in your loving devotion, for you have seen my affliction. You have known the anguish of my soul. You have not delivered me to the enemy. You have set my feet in the open. Be merciful to me, O Lord, for I am in distress. My eyes fail from sorrow, my soul and body as well. For my life is consumed with grief and my years with groaning. My iniquity has drained my strength, and my bones are wasting away. Among all my enemies I am a disgrace, and among my neighbors even more. I am dreaded by my friends. They flee when they see me on the street. I am forgotten like a dead man, out of mind. I am like a broken vessel. For I hear the slander of many. There is terror on every side. They conspire against me and plot to take my life. But I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hands. Deliver me from my enemies and from those who pursue me. Make your face shine on your servant. Save me by your loving devotion. O Lord, let me not be ashamed, for I have called on you. Let the wicked be put to shame. Let them lie silent in Sheol. May lying lips be silenced, lips that speak with arrogance against the righteous, full of pride and contempt. How great is your goodness, which you have laid up for those who fear you, which you have bestowed before the sons of men on those who take refuge in you. You hide them in the secret place of your presence. You hide them in the secret place of your presence from the schemes of men. You conceal them in your shelter from accusing tongues. Blessed be the Lord, for he has shown me his loving devotion in a city under siege. In my alarm I said, I am cut off from your sight. But you heard my plea for mercy when I called to you for help. Love the Lord, all his saints. The Lord preserves the faithful, but fully repays the arrogant. Be strong and courageous, all you who hope in the Lord. I literally never remember all the things I need to do regarding streaming. I need a giant, one of those carrots hanging in front of your face hats, but it has a little list of things not to forget regarding streaming. I forgot to start this recording. Hopefully the signal or the whatever, hopefully it's working and I don't have to worry about that, but seems like it happens more often than I understand why, that it breaks up for no reason. I'm holding this phone with two hands in a very strong grip, and I'm still afraid I'm just gonna like fumble and drop it in the water. Psalm chapter 34, of David, when he pretended to be insane before Abimelech, so that the king drove him away. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. My soul boasts in the Lord. Let the oppressed hear and rejoice. Magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant with joy. Their faces shall never be ashamed. This poor man called out, and the Lord heard him. He saved him from all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. Fear the Lord, you his saints, for those who fear him lack nothing. Young lions go lacking and hungry, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. Come, children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Who is the man who delights in life, who desires to see good days? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from deceitful speech. Turn away from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are inclined to their cry. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to wipe out all memory of them from the earth. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted. He saves the contrite in spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him from them all. He protects all his bones. Not one of them will be broken. Evil will slay the wicked, and the haters of the righteous will be condemned. The Lord redeems his servants, and none who take refuge in him will be condemned. I love David's writing. The Psalms are some of my favorite in the whole Bible, just when I'm really discouraged. Things aren't going well and just life sucks, or just I'm sad about something. You read the Psalms and just, even though he is also often describing his own troubles and he's in these terrible situations, the fact that he has hope in spite of these ridiculous circumstances just, gives me courage and encouragement, and it's just comforting to read. He's just a great writer. And it kind of reminds me of my younger self too. I used to write things like that. Like I used to write poetry and prose and stuff. And these days I write just, my thoughts down in no particular literary format or elegant, devices of any kind. So I don't feel very, whatever the word is, I don't feel that way so much anymore, but I know that's deep in me. Like if I sat down and decided to do that, I could still write that kind of stuff, but I don't make the time for it. There's so much other stuff going on. I did actually write in my journal quite a bit yesterday though, which I felt like I needed to do. Mainly because of that story that I had with that girl that I met on the mountain. I wanted to capture that story because it just felt significant. Just anytime like I meet up with somebody that I'm not expecting, it feels like one of those God moments or God appointments that he sets in motion long before I had any idea. Because the chances of those happenings occurring are 1 in a million. Like I randomly planned the night before, I randomly checked to see if there were any permits left to go to the mountain, because you have to get a wilderness permit. And there was one left. And guess what? This girl, she got the last one at her trailhead. What are the chances of that? And then, the chances that I was late, she was late, and that we crossed paths on the mountain at the exact same time, I feel like God arranged that so that I could be there to be an encouragement to her. And I don't she probably has no idea any of that stuff. To her, it's random chance because she doesn't I don't think she's religious, and she doesn't have the same probably radar or antenna up listening for those kind of alignments, but I see them all the time, and it's undeniable. There's no way to deny that. Like, okay, so you don't believe in anything beyond what you see and only science. That's fine, but how do you explain that kind of stuff? Like, there were really only 3 people on the mountain that day, and I happened to be there at the right time on the right day to see both of the other 2. There were some others earlier in the morning, but so that might detract from your probability equation if you're sitting here calculating the likelihood of these happenings. But anyway, it was just because of all that stuff. Whenever that stuff happens, I want to remember it, because sometimes later when I'm really discouraged, I think like, man, is God even listening to me, or am I so terrible? I've done so many bad things. He's just like given up and he left, I have those kind of thoughts sometimes. And then when I remember, it's like, no, I mean, yeah, life is hard, but remember all these times that he's been in my life, he's showed up and done these things that have just really surprised me and been a blessing to me. His timing is different than mine. Like he exists from eternity past to eternity future, and so his timeline and the way he measures events and what's important is very different than me. And so what seems like a long time to wait to hear from him next time he shows up and says like, hey, I'm here, watch this you're gonna get excited about this. It might take a while before the next time I get to see him, and then I get kind of discouraged and lonely and whatever, but he's always there. He's just I don't know what he's doing or thinking during those times where I'm like struggling. He's probably just like sitting right there. Just, I mean, to be honest, I haven't felt that way in a while so much because I've been doing this Bible reading thing. I was feeling that way like constantly for a long time, for months, because I last year I tried this and I let it fall apart and the technology got in the way. And it's sort of happening this year too. I'm getting really wrapped up in the stupid technology, but I'm trying not to allow it to keep me from continuing in the readings, because of how important it is for me to be connected with God and to feel encouraged and not hate life and all these kind of things. And I have felt much better in the last 3 months. Let's see, I started in July to August to September. It's been just over 2 months, and I think I'm on week 20 or something, so I've been reading at a fairly steady clip in this reading plan. And the times that ironically, the times that I actually feel kind of crappy or I go off the rails or whatever, are those days where I don't do Bible readings, I think. Like, I don't know if I could pinpoint it to that level of alignment, but that's how it feels most of the time. Like, okay, I need to get back in the Bible because it's been a couple days. Like, I need to do it every day. That's what it feels like. And I wish I could. I wish this was an official ministry or a mission, like something that I could just put all of my time into. Because if I didn't have to focus on trying to figure out my life and make money and all this, not be a burden to my parents and friends and everything, if I could just focus on this more full time, I would put a lot more energy into it. I'm putting a lot of energy into it as it is. I'm probably too much energy because I should be working on other stuff, but I just feel like it's the most important thing in my life right now, is to seek God. And I don't know what he's going to do with it. Maybe nothing other than just keep me encouraged and hopefully be a blessing to somebody out on the internet somewhere, but I don't know, maybe it'll lead into something. I have no idea. All right, so we got one more chapter to read, and then I'll be done with this one. Maybe have time to go down the river a little bit, find another spot. I have another spot in mind already, but I'll probably end the stream between because I want to make these a little bit shorter and segmented if possible. Acts chapter 11. The apostles and brothers throughout Judea soon heard that the Gentiles also had received the word of God. So when Peter went up to Jerusalem, the circumcised believers took issue with him and said, "You visited uncircumcised men and ate with them." But Peter began and explained to them the whole sequence of events. "I was in the city of Joppa praying, and in a trance I saw a vision of something like a large sheet being let down from heaven by its four corners, and it came right down to me. I looked at it closely and saw four-footed animals of the earth, wild beasts, reptiles, and birds of the air. Then I heard a voice saying to me, 'Get up, Peter, kill and eat.' 'No, Lord,' I said, 'for nothing impure or unclean has ever entered my mouth.' But the voice spoke from heaven a second time, 'Do not call anything impure that God has made clean.' This happened 3 times, and everything was drawn back up into heaven. Just then 3 men sent to me from Caesarea stopped at the house where I was staying." That was cool. I kind of flicked it off, but I sort of wish I didn't, because I think a dragonfly would have landed on my hand. I don't know what to do about that, but I don't know if they bite or what they do. Probably not. Just be kind of cool. Anyway. Just then 3 men sent to me from Caesarea stopped. Oh, okay, that was weird. Tenses. Just then 3 men sent to me from Caesarea stopped at the house where I was staying. The Spirit told me to accompany them without hesitation. These 6 brothers also went with me, and we entered the man's home. He told us how he had seen an angel standing in his house and saying, "Send to Joppa for Simon, who is called Peter. He will convey to you a message by which you and all your household will be saved." As I began to speak, the Holy Spirit fell upon them, just as he had fallen upon us at the beginning. Then I remembered the word of the Lord, as he used to say, "John baptized with water, but you will be baptized with the Holy Spirit." So if God gave them the same gift he gave us who believed in the Lord Jesus Christ, who was I to hinder the work of God? When they heard this, their objections were put to rest, and they glorified God, saying, "So then, God has granted even the Gentiles repentance unto life." Meanwhile, those scattered by the persecution that began with Stephen traveled as far as Phoenicia, Cyprus, and Antioch, spreading the message only to Jews. But some of them, men from Cyprus and Cyrene, went to Antioch and began speaking to the Greeks as well, proclaiming the good news about the Lord Jesus. The hand of the Lord was with them, and a great number of people believed and turned to the Lord. When news of this reached the ears of the church in Jerusalem, they sent Barnabas to Antioch. When he arrived and saw the grace of God, he rejoiced and encouraged them all to abide in the Lord with all their hearts. Barnabas was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and faith, and a great number of people were brought to the Lord. Then Barnabas went to Tarsus to look for Saul, and when he found him, he brought him back to Antioch. So for a full year they met together with the church and taught large numbers of people. The disciples were first called Christians at Antioch. In those days some prophets came down from Jerusalem to Antioch. One of them, named Agabus, stood up and predicted through the Spirit that a great famine would sweep across the whole world. This happened under Claudius. So the disciples, each according to his ability, decided to send relief to the brothers living in Judea. This they did, sending their gifts to the elders with Barnabas and Saul. All right, we made it. So far, I haven't dropped anything. I have one chance to, one more risky move to get out of this spot without dropping anything. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna, wow, it looks kind of a little bit hazy. I just smelled something that I wasn't sure if it was smoke. I think I do detect a little bit of smoke in the air. Hopefully that doesn't mean there's a new wildfire somewhere, but probably just somewhere far away that's blowing in again. I don't know. It does look a little bit hazy over there. Actually looks kind of cool in the video probably. But anyway, I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna look for another place to read before the sun goes down, and so hopefully I'll be back in a little while. But thanks for joining me. I just realized that the wind was blowing so hard I probably should have put my microphone under my shirt. I hope it didn't effectively mute it out or distort anything. But anyway, we'll catch you guys next time, maybe in a bit later.